Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Pop Pop.
I'm Callie.
I'm Matt.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. You making me apple dumplings?
No.
Oh. Aunt Rhonda just told me she'd make me a peach dumpling if I wanted one. Back up, ladies. No escaping. Back up. Back up, girls. Come on, thank you. Ow. Don't peck me.
I think this one's Chris and that is Martin.
Oh, that one's Chris and that one's Martin? I like it. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Boy, those are some big chickens. Nope, those aren't chickens at all. Those are turkeys. What do you think of the turkeys and the chickens?
Good.
You like them? What do you think of that tomato?
Good.
Let me see you take a big bite. Oh yeah. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you. Callie and I have been down around back. We've been getting the animals all taken care of. Farm market's all set up and ready to go. Dad is on his way back from the wholesaler. We're starting the video off with an interesting question. Why are those turkeys in there with those baby chickens? And the easy answer for you is that we had a lot more turkeys than that. However, we ran into a little bit of a problem. We're not sure if it was a fox, a raccoon, or something else that got in there, and they killed about 6 or 7 of our turkeys. So we're a little frustrated about that. We thought we had the pen all taken care of, and those turkeys were just a little bit smaller than what you saw in the pen there. So it had to be something that was really, really hungry. But anyway, we lost a few turkeys, and to prevent us from losing the rest of them, we put them in that pen with the chickens. How do we feel about something eating our turkeys? It makes us mad, doesn't it? Yeah, show me the mad face. But sometimes that's farming, unfortunately. So we've got the turkeys in a different pen. We've got an exciting day planned for us, and it's time to get on to picking some veggies, or fruit if we're being technical. Sometimes it's fruit. It's gonna be a busy day. And we have arrived. I'm guessing a lot of you have no idea what we're gonna be starting off the morning with. But here's a hint. It's probably the best hint I could give. Could you believe that we would need another full basket of plum tomatoes for the weekend? Well, if you could believe it, then I'm with you. It's been pretty busy. I'm gonna be joined by the other boys very, very soon. Matthew is working on making some deliveries this morning. Daniel is picking stuff up, and Dad is filling things up in the farm market. And since there really wasn't too much for me to do, I decided it'd be a great opportunity to get out here and start picking tomatoes for the day. To help you appreciate how many tomatoes are really here, I started picking right there, and I've already got my second basket. And I just heard a gunshot. They're probably excited about tomatoes. I cannot overstate how happy I am with these tomatoes this year. They look absolutely beautiful, the plants are healthy, and that's an amazing thing because there's a lot of factors that fight it when you're raising a crop like tomatoes. For one, we think about animals, we think about insects, so we have that pest pressure. In years past, we've had some deer that have really liked tomatoes. Not only have we had deer that have liked tomatoes, but we've also had birds that have really given us a big problem. Crows pecking holes in a whole bunch of tomatoes. So those two things, just insects and, you know, the animals that are running around here, they can cause quite a bit of problems. Now, funny enough, those two things that I had just mentioned, they're not the biggest problems that we have when it comes to raising a crop like tomatoes. I would have to say disease is probably the biggest problem that we have. Being a little more specific, late season blight and blossom end rot. Now, a lot of you have experienced blossom end rot. A lot of home gardeners run into that problem. But when it comes to blossom end rot, there's something that we do that just helps us out a ton. Now, to help us appreciate how we can prevent ourselves from running into that issue, we have to remember that blossom end rot, it's not necessarily a disease, it's a calcium deficiency in tomatoes. Now, we run into this problem too, so it's not just a home gardener issue. We need to make sure that we're adding calcium to our tomatoes. You can find a fertilizer that has calcium in it, or you can just find something that is specifically designed for plants and add that to your tomatoes. Now, it's important to remember calcium moves with water. So if you're dealing with a drought and then you're doing some heavy watering, it washes calcium out of the soil. So we try and make sure that we add calcium periodically to our tomatoes. If we start noticing blossom end rot, we come through with some calcium. We will foliar feed with the sprayer, some calcium, some fertilizer on top. And that's how we prevent ourselves from having blossom end rot. We did see some earlier on in the season, but at this point in the season, we're not finding too much because we've been able to stay on top of it. A big thing you can do before you're really getting started with planting is making sure you add some lime to your soil if you know that you're calcium deficient. That is something also that you could do. The other thing I wanted to talk about was blight, especially late season blight, because here in the Northeast, we get affected by late season blight. Now, when it comes to blight, there's not too much you can do. They say you can add copper. Copper does help out. But for a home gardener, you're kind of in even more of a difficult situation. When it comes to blight, we have one thing that we can do here on the farm that helps prevent it. And that one thing that we can do is rotating our crops. We make sure to rotate our crops every single year. For example, these tomatoes have not been planted in this spot for, I don't know how long. It's been a very long time. We have certain areas where we plant tomatoes every few years, and this is one of the spots that has been put into rotation. I think we probably move through 5 or 6 years until we're back at a spot, so that's a good time for that. But you have to also remember there are certain crops that certain diseases bother together. So like with tomatoes, we have potatoes and things like that. So it's something that we really have to keep in mind when we are rotating crops. Now, thankfully, we haven't been seeing too much blight. Now, the home gardener, like I said, runs into a problem with that. Here on the farm where we have such a concentrated pile of produce, and I'm not just talking about what we have grown in the field. I mean, I did just get a basket. I would call this a concentrated pile of produce. But for example, the density of plants that we have here, disease is a real problem. Now, for the home gardener, you're gonna have to look up some home remedies, or you're gonna have to look into that, because I'm not sure what you can do at the home. So you don't wanna be digging up a new garden in your yard every single year. But for us, crop rotation, it's our biggest aid in fighting against late season blight. We're just gonna continue on with what we've been doing for the past few years, because the past 2 years in particular, the tomatoes have just been outstanding, unbelievable. One more thing I will mention about disease in tomatoes. Sometimes we like to stick to our older varieties of tomatoes. And truth be told, those older varieties of tomatoes, they're not as resistant to disease as the newer varieties. I know, I don't like change either, but it would be beneficial for some people to start looking into trying a newer variety, seeing if it works out for you in your local area. If you've been having trouble raising tomatoes, there's nothing wrong with trying something new. That's what I always say. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. Now that I'm all done talking about that though, I do have a question for my viewers. How has everything been growing in your garden? I've been curious about that. I've asked that question a few times this year, and I've seen some good responses. We've had some people that have been having some promising crops, and then I feel bad, I've seen some people that also have been fighting off the animals and fighting off some disease, so that's unfortunate. But I hope the rest of your growing year goes well, the same way I hope the rest of my growing year goes well. I just know I'm gonna be picking a lot more tomatoes. A lot more tomatoes, and I hate to tell you this, but I'm still enjoying it. Now, if it was peas, that'd be a different story. Maybe I wouldn't be so excited about it. But tomatoes, I'm having a great time here. I've been making some good progress out here, but I'm no longer alone. Dad has showed up, and Daniel is also here picking tomatoes. What do you think, Daniel? Are you able to find any?
I feel like you guys haven't done anything around here. You haven't picked anything.
Oh my goodness, come on. Can you believe this guy, Dad? He says it doesn't look like we've been picking anything out here.
He lives in the clouds.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. A little bit of an update for you. Matthew is now out here, and we've been picking right along this field. The amount of baskets sitting alongside the road, it makes a tomato picking boy's heart happy. So what do you think of the tomatoes, Matthew? You're the last person that we can interview about this today.
I think they're great. I'm happy to be able to pick them off as fast as we are.
You can see there is some green tomatoes over here, but not near as much as there was with our first picking. As we're going down through the field, lots of them are ripening up, and we're taking everything we can. A lot more tomatoes over here. I'll take it up because we have to take the truck to the walk in. We're gonna go pick peppers. We're all finished with plum tomatoes, but we need to do a little more picking. We need 1 full basket of all red hot cherry peppers. We also need some Cubanelle peppers. We just got all our Cubanelles harvested. A couple of these plants, it was a little more difficult to literally get the peppers off the plant. I think it's because it's been so dry, but I don't know if that's the problem or what, but I'm trying to take care of these plants, but that's why we plant a lot of them.
But they need some pink ones in there. And then everything's right now.
We're all loaded up and ready to go. Matthew and Dad had to pick 1 more basket of tomatoes, so that's where they ran off to. I'm taking all these tomatoes home, and Daniel's got the peppers on his truck. Hi, little babies. Ooh, but those are awfully little tomatoes. We're a little late to lunch, so we quickly just ran a few of these tomatoes through. That way we have fresh plum up top to sell. We also got all our peppers washed, and we had some people here picking up some orders for tomatoes. So that was the basket Dad and Matthew were working on. Just a quick wash. Now we're gonna go get something to eat. Alrighty. It is lunchtime on the farm. Let's see what we are having. Ooh, it looks like burgers. I'm pretty excited about that.
How excited are you, Andrew?
Woohoo!
And tell me, honest question, do you put ketchup on top of your tomato, or do you do only ketchup or only tomato?
Come on, I'm not gonna give away the secrets.
I guess I did. You guys know what I do.
Out of all the tomatoes that we had harvested this morning, we got 18 baskets altogether of ripe tomatoes. We've already taken up 4, well, I should say 19. We've already taken up 4. And then what was left would be the ones that were not completely ripe yet. We're gonna be leaving them down here. Now we still have tomatoes over here. We had sorted through these yesterday. If we sorted through them today, we could probably find some more. But as of right now, I think we've got enough tomatoes up in front of the farm market, at least for today. Tomorrow, that might be a completely different problem. And there it is, another wagon full of cannon tomatoes. No, it's too early for that. You know that.
105 day. That's a heavy year.
This is the biggest ear you've got. There.
No. I just.
We need some sweet corn for back at the farm market, so we made our way out here. They were just looking in the field corn at some of the stuff that we're soon going to be harvesting with the combine. It's crazy to think about it, but yes, fall is coming. It's coming faster than we expected. But sweet corn is what we need to get picked right now, so that's what we're off to do. Here's a little area. I think water was washing through here, or the deer got in here earlier and were eating off the corn. But now, finding a few more ears as we get out through the field. I'm just walking through this sweet corn field picking. Look at the ground. Look at this section we just drove through. It has to be raccoons or deer, one of the two. I'm guessing it's raccoons because this is so bad. Look at all that. That's terrible. Everywhere you see kind of a white husk on the ground, that's dried out corn husk. It's from the raccoons or the squirrels, whatever, eating it. There's so much of it. We're on the home farm. Where we're at is quite a distance away from the farm market itself. But you know, this is the home property. We've always raised sweet corn back there, and this spot is known for kind of having trouble with the animals. But I've never seen it like this. In a year where we've had to pick a lot of sweet corn, this is just not what you want to see. It's been a bad year for crop damage. Hey Dad, what do you think of all this crop damage? I can't imagine you like it.
No, it's not good.
No, it's frustrating.
Yep.
Very, very frustrating. That is crop damage. Unbelievable. It was disgusting. At least this sweet corn looks good. Well, I'm happy we were able to get a bin at least. The deer and the raccoons couldn't stop us today.
No.
Maybe next time, but not today.
We're on to a better field now.
Yes, one less, like no crop damage in it, thankfully. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful day to harvest some sweet corn. We no longer have Daniel with us for the afternoon. Dad is back at the farm market. He's helping out the ladies, and it's just Matthew and I. We've got an assortment of peppers and some other stuff that needs to be picked. So we're gonna get started on it, and we're getting started with hot cherry peppers. Matthew had to run off to the farm market and help out a little bit back there, but I just got some white bell picked, I got some sweet cherry picked, and now I've got some Cubanelle, Italiano, hot cherry, and jalapenos harvested. I just have to say, this is just such a beautiful day. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better day to do some harvesting. I'm having a good one. I got my wagon moved over to the eggplant. We need a few different varieties of eggplant harvested. We need the stripe, we need the long eggplant, and then we also need the regular black eggplant. And the first thing I'm gonna be grabbing is this long, thin eggplant. What is this? That's a weird looking eggplant. The next thing that we need to get picked is some round tomatoes. We just got our eggplant all harvested. We got 3 baskets of regular eggplant. We got, well, I should say like 2.5, and then half a basket of striped, and then some of that thin eggplant. Now we're gonna grab round tomatoes, and we've been picking a lot of tomatoes, so I'll just come back to you once we're done picking tomatoes. It didn't take Matthew and I very long, and we were able to get all the baskets filled up. So we had our peppers and eggplant. Then here are the round tomatoes that we just grabbed. Absolutely gorgeous. Now that we're all done picking, we've got to get this stuff back to the farm market. Once Matthew and I got back to the farm, we got all the tomatoes offloaded. We didn't run them through the washer and sort them, but everything else that we had picked, we got it washed and sorted. Hey everyone, we're now home. Callie, what are you doing?
I'm in my car.
She's in her pretend car. Callie's pretend car, it just happens to be a Wipey's box. Nice. When I was getting home from work, we were putting the babies in the bathtub right away, so we're not really camera ready. So this is the best you're gonna get from Miss Lily. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. And here we have Mr. Ronnie. But anyway, it's been a long day, so you know what that means. We're ending the video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.